and society will tell you what you need to validate you. Man, this car gonna make you feel good. Oh, this girl right here, she gonna make you feel good. Oh, go spend this money and do this, it's gonna make you feel good. But the answers,
the more valuable become, the quality of the woman you can attract gets a lot better. If you settle early, you're making a big bet. And I've seen a lot of guys this up because they settle early and then they keep growing and their woman doesn't grow with them. It's also inverse if you're a woman. There's a couple women in the room. It's the same thing. If the guy doesn't grow, there will be a tension here eventually. And my experience has been if you work hard and take care of your business, it takes care of you.
You know, the crazy part about this message is, you know, I even think about my friendships, right? When you think about your friendships you had in high school versus to where you at now, usually you're not friends with the same people you was 10, 15 years ago. You outgrow people. See, a lot of times you outgrow people. You're not on the same thing no more. Maybe their mindset is still focused on the same thing and you didn't move on to something different. And I notice the people that are still around me today is because they're growing at the same pace as me. And if somebody's not growing at the same pace as you, whether it's a friendship, a business, romantic relationship, whatever, right? It can't be beneficial. But, you know, going back to his original point of what he was saying about, you know, as your value grows as a man, the quality of women that you attract, it gets better. I was having this conversation with my younger cousin, and shout out to my family, and he's like in his early 20s, and I'm telling him, because he was like, man, I'm at the most valuable point as a man right now. I was like, no, you're not. As a man, your value increases as the amount of resources you have to provide increase. Now, I'm not just saying financially. I'm saying when you hit that point as a man where you're well-rounded, you're at your top physical peak, you're at your top mental peak, you're at your top financial peak, you're emotionally mature, your mindset is on point. It's all about being well-rounded. That's the whole point I want to make. And then as a man at 23, you're not gonna be there yet. You know what I'm saying? You're just not gonna be at that point. And then when you even really look at a man's prime, you're not really even in your prime until you get to your 30s. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to your 30s, usually that's when you, career-wise, have got to that point where, you know what I'm saying, you're killing stuff. This is why I tell y'all so much on this channel, man. Focus on your mindset. It all starts in the mind. Focus on the way you think. Focus on leveling up your life so you don't pick the wrong person to be with. Whether you just want a girlfriend or a long-term situation, or you want to get married, whatever you want to do, have a main chick, whatever you're trying to do, you don't want to pick the wrong person. Because a lot of times we let feelings and how we feel about somebody blind us. That blinds you because you don't really know who this person is. You really don't know what they bring to the table. You really don't know if they're an asset or a liability.
So you might be wondering why everybody you deal with leaves you. You're attracting people who can't commit to you because your attachment style draws you to people who will probably leave you or showing signs that they're not going to commit to you. And you want them to commit because it'll validate you and make you feel wanted. It'll make you feel like worthy, just to satisfy whatever childhood that you had going on. It's all up here.
Like, when you don't learn how to validate yourself, man, you're not high value. A high value man or just a woman in general learns how to validate themselves. Like she just said, you're gonna be attracting women or people to you that don't validate themselves as well either. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes it toxic. And for me, those are the type of situations I was always constantly in, dealing with people that's emotionally unavailable because I'm emotionally unavailable. You attract to you what you are. So if you ain't got it up here mentally, the women that you attract in your life, it ain't gonna be right. It ain't gonna be hitting on nothing because you haven't done the work yourself to improve yourself, which is why I always talk about focusing on your craft, focusing on your mindset. You wanna be as well-rounded as possible so you don't have to ever overcompensate for something that you lack. And it's a crazy society that we live in because if you don't have a mind of your own and you don't know how to validate yourself, the internet and society will tell you what you need to validate you. Man, this car gonna make you feel good. Oh, this girl right here, she gonna make you feel good. Oh, go spend this money and do this, it's gonna make you feel good. But the answer is always the man in the mirror. That's what's gonna make yourself feel good. This is why it's so important to validate yourself because when you learn to do that, that's when you become really valuable. when you understand who you are, when you know what you want, when you got standards for yourself, when you're focusing on a bigger picture, when you're focusing on your craft, you're becoming more confident, you're staying in the gym, you know what I'm saying? You're having hobbies. When you have a whole life, that's what makes you attractive. And then now you can attract the woman that you really want into your life. But so many of us have to overcompensate for things that we lack. You know what I'm saying? So many of us are not emotionally mature. So many of us have not put the work in and dealt with our traumas. But yet you want the best out of life. And the thing is, man, everybody, you know, I call Instagram instant gratification. Nobody wants to do what's hard no more. Nobody want to put in work to become better. Man, I started this journey back in 2012, 2013. It's been like a, what are we in, 2023? So it's been like a 10-year journey for me of just pouring into myself, experiencing, continuing to date women, continuing to fail, continuing to learn. Like y'all see me on YouTube talking about this for the past year, but this is something I've been learning the last 10 years, which is why I can spit this stuff out so fluently, because it's coming from passion, it's coming from experience. Like the things I speak about, I've actually been through, or else I wouldn't be able to talk about it this freely. You gotta do what's hard, man. You know, I have it tatted on me. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it says no change without sacrifice. You gotta give up things to get things. You gotta change old ways of thinking, old patterns of thinking. You gotta level up. You gotta put in the work. You gotta grind even when you don't feel like it. You know, all the times, sometimes I don't feel like making videos, but I know at the end of the day, I'm paying this value for it. I know I have to do it. I know it's part of the grind, it's part of the mission. You gotta put your mission number one. And too many of us get sidetracked and we don't keep the main thing the main thing. We major in minor things. And at the end of the day, if you want the most out of life, if you want that right, because you know what they say, man, like picking the right woman, regardless if you want a long-term situation, you want to get married or whatever, right? They say picking that woman is picking your partner is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. And how can you clearly make that decision if you're not focused yourself? You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what you want to do with your life, if you're thinking about her all the time, if you're chasing her all the time, if you're doing that all the time and thinking about her, how can you truly, you know what I'm saying, get that fulfillment that you really want? You know what I'm saying? That fulfillment is going to come from putting in that work to become better. And that's why I say on this channel all the time, continue to focus on you. All right, guys, that's my video for today, man. I appreciate you guys for coming over to the channel. As always, guys, make sure you continue to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'm gone.